Lord come to you and be like, you need to make a video. I probably just need to go and make this video. Really, it started with Ephesians 6:12, but I'm just gonna go straight into the story on what happened today, because what happened today led me back to Ephesians, and I'm just gonna, tie it all in together. Okay, so I had court today. I just had a traffic ticket. My stuff was simple. It was simple. But the guy that went before me, he had everybody stunned, including the judge. And I was like, boy. But let me tell you what happened. And I'll just tell you what happened. Then we'll go into it. Okay, so I guess he had a theft charge for stealing from a store. I'm going to assume, well, he didn't actually steal from the store. He didn't actually steal anything. The situation was, he gave somebody a ride. The person he gave a ride stole something from a store, and then they got pulled over, and they found the merchandise in his vehicle. But as soon as he approached, the stand, he was like, Your Honor, I'm pleading guilty. But he said, I gave a friend a ride, but I'm taking full responsibility. I'm not the one who took it. But, it was in my possession. It was in my vehicle. So I'm taking responsibility. And I'm pleading guilty. The judge was like, huh? I'm not really supposed to do this, but he just broke down the law, and criminal law is based on intent. And he was like, it doesn't sound like you intended to steal something. You have a clean record. You don't have any kind of criminal record whatsoever. Do you think this is gonna affect your employment in the future? Da 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 da. He was like, I ain't think about that. So the judge was like, you might want to think about that before you plead guilty. But the guy still just pled guilty to a crime he didn't do. Everybody in the courtroom is just looking like, that's wrong. That's wrong. You shouldn't take the blame for something you didn't do. But on another level, I think we all understood. He's trying to protect somebody. It must be somebody he really cared about. Because he said the person who actually stole the stuff was his homeboy, and his homeboy just got out of prison. I do see where he's coming from. I understand. I do understand. But you just put a mark on your life that shouldn't have been there for somebody who was already a criminal. I don't know what the person did before. That wasn't discussed in court. He never said the name of the person who actually stole the stuff. And I've been to court with this judge a couple of times. All right, I've gotten a traffic ticket or two in life. But the thing is, he had something to comment about everything. And the way he was with this guy, I know, he looked into his background and everything and was like, he's not guilty. But the guy took the charge and pled guilty. Was that the right thing to do? Was it the righteous thing to do? I'm pretty sure. And let's get into Ephesians. Before I even get into Ephesians, I'm gonna put myself in like this situation because I do feel like it is a similar situation. I even saw the judge look at me because the judge knows my situation. His son was my lawyer at one point. But my situation is, I guess at this point you would say I am trying to get custody of my daughter. Am I 100% sure it's my biological daughter? No, I'm not. There's been a lot of weird things that have happened, and clearly, like, people are, it's some type of cover up. It's some like not right things happening. I'm not gonna go point by point and point fingers at nobody, but like the guy in court, I'm not the person who dropped the ball in the situation at all. But I'm willing to take responsibility for the situation. The reason I'm willing to take responsibility for the situation is I love the child. I've been there like from the beginning. That's my little best friend. Little best friend, just as because like originally, like, I didn't think that she was my daughter. It was later on that, like, you know, I think she looks like me. Most people say she looks like me. She acts like me. Obviously, I've been some type of good influence on the child. So, when situations happen, I'm willing to take responsibility for the child, even though I didn't mess up the situation. So, I can totally understand where he's coming from and why he pled guilty. Because it's the same thing. Actually, it's probably to a greater degree. Because, taking responsibility for somebody for the next, 13 years, and well after that, I'm pretty sure. That's a lot. But I feel strong enough about it that I'm willing to take that responsibility. So, I understand where he's coming from. Ephesians 6:12, and I'm just doing this off the top of my head, I'm not reading it. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers and principalities. That's just verbatim. It's pretty close. How that relates. The guy that pled guilty, he wasn't wrestling against flesh and blood. He was wrestling against the principalities. I'm pretty sure his friend was on parole. I'm pretty sure his friend would have went back to prison. He has a clean record, and he sacrificed his clean record for his friend. I don't know if that was the best thing to do. It's like taking responsibility for a child you're not really sure is yours. A lot of people say that's not really a good idea. You're opening yourself up to a lot of liability. You taking on somebody else's responsibilities. But I don't look at it like that. That's my responsibility. The little girl said, I want Brandon to be my dad. I want her to be my daughter. I mean, I think if a child picks who they want to be their father, you can't argue with that. Okay, and now we're going to go into Ephesians 10 through 14. Finally, be strong in the Lord in his mighty power. Put the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggles is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against authorities, against powers of darkness, of the dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realm. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. Stand firm with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place. Okay. Now, I commend the brother for his, for what he did. And, he did save, his friend from the system. I really pray that his friend doesn't steal and do anything else wrong. Now, well, I'm going to get into that later. But, I mean, he did stand strong against the scheme of the enemy. Kind of. I have been, like, after everything, I do have a whole secondary argument to this that does contradict my first argument. The thing is, are you really working against the principalities of evil when you're still helping a person that did wrong? That's deep. Is one evil greater than the other evil? Probably so. But it's the actions of his friend, just from what is known of the situation, he got out of prison and then stole. I don't know why he was in prison. I don't know why he was stealing. But stealing is wrong. So, right. But I do commend and we don't know the whole situation, so we can't judge. I mean, he felt strong enough to do what he did, so we just got to respect his mind on that. Now, I can also relate that to my own situation. Till going through some things in life and seeing some things in life, I really would like to save the mother and the child. But there's only so much I can do for another adult. Another adult is responsible for their own actions. I mean, yes, everybody does deserve a chance, but I don't know. Some things I do think probably could have worked out better in between us, but the way things played out, I see things from a much wider perspective than I did before. So it's just protecting the person who did something wrong. It's like 6 in one hand, half a dozen in another. A person is responsible for their own actions. Yes. The thing is, in my particular situation, the child is totally innocent in this situation. And you can't fully understand another person. You can't. But I love her mother. I care about her. But it's just some things that I see that I don't feel like would be consistent, with the direction that would be in the best interest of the child. That's where, yeah, I'll plead guilty. I'll take responsibility because I want what's best for the child. I know I will do above and beyond. problem taking that responsibility. And just like the guy, we got questions. I got questions, but I gotta respect his mind on how he came about the situation and just took responsibility and said he guilty. Okay. After listening to the video, it's one thing I did want to clarify, because I like to be fair and balanced. And there was one statement that I don't think was all the way fair, balanced, and does need clarification. While I am saying, yes, I don't think, that she would be consistent to have full custody of a child at the moment. I am saying that. I'm not saying that I don't feel like she should ever be in a child's life. I've seen her be a great mother. It's the consistency that's the problem. That's something she has to work out within herself. Ain't nobody else fix that but her. I hope she can find help. I pray she finds help. But it's the consistency problem. I think, them being around each other in a controlled environment would be good when she is in the right, attitude and frame of mind for that. But just on an everyday, consistent basis, I think I got a better plan. I know I have a better plan overall. And, I just want my fair chance at doing right and, finishing what I started. I don't even want to get all the way into it, but just like the guy, just respect my mind about it.